Hi everyone, this is Dane Dormio with Martial Energetics, and today I wanted to talk with you in some detail about the stretching sequence from the daily dose process. As I've talked about in another video, stretching does have a role to play in Qigong, but it's not the central role. The emphasis in Qigong is not on range of motion, but rather softness, fluidity, pliability, and sensitivity. So, the main role of stretching in Qigong is to prepare the body by way of releasing excess pent-up tension and helping to bring the body into a more soft and relaxed state. So, we don't need to stretch a huge amount or for a great duration, just enough to release the tension in the body and help work the kinks out so that we can settle into our practice with more relaxation. So in the daily dose process, there is a stretching sequence that has basically two movements in it. Stretching movement 1 and stretching movement 2. And first, what these are designed to do is to just kind of systematically stretch the entire body. And if you take full advantage of these, you can get a really deep, complete stretch from doing both of them together. And so you can look at this as kind of a comprehensive way to stretch everything in the body, every part of the body, without needing to memorize anything particularly complicated. So we'll start by going into detail with the first stretching movement. And what I'll do first is just go through the movement from the front and from the side so you can see what the shape of the movement is. And then I'll talk about some of the details to pay attention to when doing the movement, as well as some potential pitfalls to avoid. So that's from the front, and now from the side. And now to talk through some of the details of this movement. In this movement, we're stretching the top of the body, the front of the body, and the back of the body. So we start with extending the fingertips downwards. And here, we're lengthening the arms downwards. We're actually getting a stretch in the trapezius. The way that we want to do all stretches in Qigong is not with pulling and increasing tension, but it's more a sense of expansion and inflation, that we're opening rather than that we're pulling and stretching. So we're extending the fingertips downwards, opening the trapezius, so we're essentially opening the top of the body and the sides of the neck. We're extending the arms and the shoulders downwards, and then we begin to move the hands backwards, so we're opening the entire front of the body. We're opening the chest, we're opening the shoulders, we're pulling the shoulder blades together in the back. And at the same time, we're continuing to extend the arms outwards, and we're beginning to arc the spine up and back. So we're opening the front of the body this way, and we're also opening the front of the body this way, lengthening all the way along the front, lengthening along the hips, the opening of the quad, the legs, the knees, the ankles, extending, lengthening the entire front of the body in both directions. And we're moving the arms up and back around as big a circle as we can manage. So we're opening the chest all the way. And the whole time, this is also important for all stretching in Qigong, we're continually breathing all the way. So we're actually stretching the breathing apparatus as well. We're opening and expanding the ribs and the diaphragm all the way. Breathing all the way in, all the way out. There's often a tendency when stretching to hold the breath or contract, but we want to expand the breath all the way. And then we begin to move the arms forward. Now we're lengthening the body, lengthening the spine upwards, lengthening the shoulders upwards. We're lengthening the whole body as far as we can. And then we begin to arc forward and down. Now we're lengthening the spine, and we're beginning to open the back of the body. So we're opening the back, we're opening the shoulder blades, we're lengthening the arms and shoulders, we're lengthening the spine, we're lengthening the hamstrings and the calves. We're opening and expanding the entire back of the body, still also breathing fully, all the way in, all the way out, still expanding the breathing apparatus, and we're allowing the spine to arc. And we're going to go however low is comfortable and let the head and the arms hang. So the neck is completely relaxed, the arms and shoulders are completely relaxed at the bottom. And we're letting the head and the arms hang, still breathing, taking a few full breaths here. There's still a little bit of bend in the knees. Even though we're lengthening the backs of the legs, we're still keeping a little bit of bend in the knees so they're not locked. And then we begin to slowly come up from the base of the spine, moving upwards one vertebrae at a time, bringing the entire spine into alignment. And the head and the arms are hanging down. So the arms and the shoulders are dropped, are completely relaxed. The neck and the head are dropped, are completely relaxed. We keep moving vertebrae in place all the way up to the top of the spine, and then finally in the neck, each vertebrae. And the last thing to go in place is the head right on top. So talking through each of those details again from the side. We begin by breathing, then we're extending the fingertips downwards, so we're stretching the top of the body. As we continue to breathe and expand from within, we move the hands backwards and begin to open the front of the body by arcing the spine up and back. As we bring the hands upwards, opening the chest, opening the front of the body fully. Still breathing all the way in, all the way out, lengthening the spine, lengthening the hips, lengthening the legs. And then we begin to bring the hands forward, still lengthening the spine until we begin to open the back of the body, still expanding, still breathing all the way. All the way in, all the way out. Arcing the spine forward and around, like around in a circle. Lengthening the backs of the legs, lengthening the spine until we get to the bottom, wherever you can comfortably hang, just allowing the head and the arms to hang at the bottom. Still breathing all the way. And after a few deep breaths here at the bottom, we begin to bring the spine into place, one vertebrae at a time, starting at the bottom and working up to the top. The arms and the shoulders are hanging, the head and the neck are hanging. Still breathing all the way, one vertebrae at a time coming into alignment, all the way up to the top of the spine, and then the neck, and finally the head is the last thing to move into place. So this movement allows us to stretch everything in the front of the body, the back of the body, as well as the top of the body. Going through it at the rate that I just did is about the normal pace for general purposes. You can always speed this up or slow it down. You can spend more time with this whole stretch or with any part of it. Spend as much time as your body is wanting. If your body wants to take more time to open and expand, then by all means allow that time and the space to fully open and soften. Give your body the time to adjust and open into the stretch, however much time that is for you on any particular day. So thank you for joining me today, and thank you for joining me on this lifelong mind-body mastery journey. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye.